Here's an exciting joint venture activity you can do to access your target customers for free. And it's something you can do with your clients very easily. Hi, I'm Justin Hitt with Ad Briefing's Copywriting Tips. Gary Halbert, in his Gary Halbert letter, talks about how you can have a free mailing by partnering with co-op partners who will then pool their money together to reach a specific target audience. So if you're a marketer, business development professional, or copywriter, and you specialize in a specific market, imagine gathering individuals who also want to reach that market so that you can split cooperatively the cost of connecting with these people. So let's say it costs $1 to reach out to your audience. You've got a target market of 25,000 individuals. You've narrowed it down to a test market of, say, 2,500 individuals. And you've been doing lead generation in this area and got about 100 or 200 folks on your list where you can survey them and find out what their interests are. And you want a surefire way to launch a larger paid newsletter, prospect newsletter, or marketing campaign that is going to generate revenue for your business. What's your next step? Well, the lower the cost of acquiring the new prospect or the new customer, the better you can profit over time. It allows you to reach your prospects faster because you'll be able to reinvest more dollars into either content or target marketing to reach out to those folks. But ultimately, the best way to lower your cost is to partner up with 3 to 5 individuals or organizations who want to reach the same audience as you want to reach. Now, in the case of a campaign, I like to have an ongoing campaign. Now, Gary Halbert's original discussion about this was talking about setting up lead generation for this list and then sending out individual messages to this list. In his case, it was postal mail, back when postage was 40 cents for a first-class letter. But ultimately, it was about campaigns on the go. An enhancement of this program, which I've heard in other seminars and events, is instead of sending just a one-off letter, is actually sending something like a newsletter series or some kind of series of letters like you might do in a magnetic marketing campaign. Now, the one thing that you must consider is that when you are sending these letters, you must collaborate with your partners. So if you're going to do a newsletter series in a community, like which one I'm developing right now for a client, is that you would actually go and find 5 to 12 different businesses, interview those businesses, interview them about their profession, interview them about the community, interview them about the important factors in the community, and then go out to their target customers, which need to be specific, which need to be easily reachable, and need to have the money to be able to buy products. But you would then take these interviews and write them into articles. So this week you might write about the unusual organic foods available at the local market that you won't find anywhere else. And then you can talk about the local market and why do they have these foods and why are these foods beneficial and what's the excitement about this particular food. And maybe you've also partnered with physical trainers. So you might want to mention that, hey, if you're eating the right foods and you're getting the right exercise, you can actually reduce weight or you can increase your health. And you would weave into each month's story again, what Gary Halbert talks about, star story solution. You talk about the star. Local hero offers healthy food choices. The story, well, they were having health problems and now they're not having health problems, and that's because they changed their food and they want to give other people the opportunity. And then the action or the solution is to go eat at that restaurant. And this community newsletter goes out, paid for by all the partners in the group, and ultimately gets those individuals business. Now, here's some secrets about picking those partners. You need to make sure that they have an offer that significantly pays for the investment in the newsletter. Because again, you add 5, doing a campaign for yourself, doing a campaign for one client is one thing, but doing a campaign for 5 people together in a 12-part series is something different. Now, as a consultant, it is a good revenue source for you. You can set these things up for your customers. You can set these things up for trade associations. You can set these up for magazines who want to increase their distribution by selling their ad space for them. But ultimately, you need individuals who can produce revenue. So I'm looking at a letter system mailing. It's going to be about $1 per letter, 2,500 units. If I have 5 partners on this deal and I charge each partner 1/4 of the total cost, because you're going to have partners come and go. You're going to have overhead administrative activities. One thing you can't do is nickel and dime these folks. They need to know exactly what they pay, and then they pay a fixed amount. For a 3-month commitment or a 6-month commitment, the 3-month commitment will be about $1,800. So I rounded it up to $2,000. If I'm going to mail a household 2,500 items, and it costs $2,000 to participate, and then I need to get some sales. So about 1% of people are going to have interest. This is just a general conservative factor, and about that's 25 people. And of those 25 people, you may get 1 in 10 to convert to become customers. That means that my partner in this deal has to be able to make $333 customer lifetime value in order for it to be worth a cooperative marketing relationship. Now, this says nothing about how much it costs for them to send their own campaign. If they were to send 2,500 units every month for 3 months, that's $7,500. They're getting the same access for $1,800 because they're working with partners. What makes this even more powerful is that when you start putting in click retargeting, click tracking, you start putting in target audience type of work in social media, when you start testing topics as part of these newsletters or campaigns going out, and then you ultimately manage the back end for the customer. Now, why would you want to do this? Well, if you're a copywriter, marketer, or business development professional, and you can develop a large list of target prospects in a specific audience, and you know what products they're buying and what products they're not buying, then you're going to have a more intelligent view of what copy converts, what copy transforms their desire and interest into actual monetary transactions. You're also going to be building an asset, which is this list that you can use for other things. So, for example, if you're a business development professional and your target customer is government contractors, okay, and you work with print shops, mailing houses, you work with web designers, you work with graphic artists, and they all serve government contractors. You could use this type of model to subsidize your marketing and reduce your overall costs while helping strategic partners better reach government contractors. And then as you build that list of government contractors, you'll be able to have a larger pool of customers. Now, since you're bringing your milk's bringing the boys to the yard, you're in a position to adjust content to position you as an expert. It also positions your partners as experts. It also reveals or introduces solutions. You're going to see all the questions that subscribers are reading. Oh, and by the way, you can have people pay for this newsletter. But as a joint venture by itself, as a cooperative marketing activity by itself, you're going to have more control over that marketplace because you become a gatekeeper. You're developing a platform. You're developing an audience. You can branch off from a mailed, and I like print mailed newsletters or print mailed letters because it's tangible, it's physical, it's easier to measure. But you can branch off into webinars. You can branch off into live events. You can branch off into other types of one-off offers. Maybe somebody on your list is getting good results from being a part of this cooperative, lowering their marketing costs, getting consistent messaging in front of prospects, and now they're going to have this special sale and they want to do a solo one-off mailing to your list. Well, guess what? You have a list to do this with, and you'll likely get the copywriting work because you'll be the expert to both people who want to reach an audience and that actual audience that you want to reach. Think about how important this is. Now that I've shared this with you, you probably see this model actively. All the gurus are using this model. Gary Halbert himself used this model. He wrote newsletters for the entrepreneurs that he wanted to market to, and he joint ventured and did cooperatives with other people who wanted to reach small businesses and growing businesses. It is a time-tested model that starts with lead generation in a marketplace, both on the side of the customer and the side of individuals who serve that customer, to build up two mailing lists. One, the service providers who want to reach an audience, and two, the audience that wants the service providers to reach them. You work both sides of that. You work up a cost-sharing arrangement so that your your service providers are paying you to reach this audience every month. Now, yes, you'll have to do all the editorial work. Yes, you'll have to do the logistical work of getting the mailings out the door. Yes, you'll have to do the project management work. But this is all higher value activity that you can easily work with a mail house. You can easily work with a list broker. You can easily work with many of the people that are out there to support these types of activities. Ultimately, though, you're developing an asset. Two assets, in fact. One asset is a list of people who want to reach the target audience that you serve, and the second asset is the target audience you serve. Plus, all of the demographics, all of the outlying information, all of the value of that understanding that business and developing a relationship with those customers. That is gold for the marketer, copywriter, or business development professional. If you'd like to explore this specific model in more detail, I am thinking about having a special course on this. It's going to be a 3-week program, and we'll go down into the details of establishing your either paid newsletter, free newsletter, or letter series that would go to a target audience, and then you would actually collaborate with other people who want to reach that same audience to pay for the activity. So when you invest in this program, and then these people invest in your program, you ultimately have a marketing campaign that goes out every month that is literally free to you. In fact, it's a fraction of the initial cost. Now, you don't really get a free ride because you are responsible for replacing partners and building out this program. But overall, it's less management of your marketing campaigns because you'll have more capital up front. And we can talk about the 3-month, 6-month commitments, 12-month commitments. You'll end up with more capital up front to go ahead and hire a mailing house, to go ahead and hire a service to get the letters in place, to go ahead and write the letters and get them formatted and get them set up and sent out, to transcribe the interviews you're going to do with the individuals. It is a proven system that works time and time again. Some folks have used this to establish their consulting businesses. Some folks have used this to feed a steady pipeline of customers. In fact, there's a mailing house in Virginia Beach that used this to basically build out their customer list. Their prospect newsletter was paid for by their vendors. So a paper vendor would have a little blurb in there about this new paper that was 20% fabric, and it was best paper for letterhead, and there would be a little blurb about it, about why you should choose this kind of paper. And these are legitimate educational articles, but in this case, these articles were paid for by the paper vendor or the distribution house in order to stimulate supply chain. So this is not an unusual thing. It's just the implementation is very specific. And like I do with all my programs, this is really about implementation. This is about you starting with nothing, building out the partnerships, building out the connections. What types of letters do you send? How do you structure things? How do you manage the lists? And then coming out the other end with a break even or better prospect newsletter, with a break even or better letter series that's telling you what customers want to buy, with a break even or better partnership arrangement so you can do larger projects and opportunities. So if you have any questions about what I've shared here today, this is a collaborative newsletter series or a collaborative marketing campaign that basically gives you a free ride into the marketplace. It definitely significantly reduces your cost per lead. If you have questions about that, visit us at www.adbriefings.co.uk. I'm Justin Hitt, helping copywriters, business development professionals, and marketers reach larger audiences and optimize the business of copywriting so that they can be more profitable and build stronger business relationships. Thanks for listening.